both platforms, YouTube and TikTok. Okay, Atlas Shrugged. This is the 29th live where I'm reading quotes from Atlas Shrugged. It's huge, look at this. And today I'll be quoting from page 727. But on whose authority? That's stated on the coin, on both sides of it. What do you use for small change? Mulligan means that too in silver. We don't accept any other currency in this valley. We accept nothing but objective values. She was studying the coins. This looks like something from the first morning in the age of my ancestors. He pointed at the valley. Yes, doesn't it? So this is interesting in terms of economy and economics and currency value, exchanging value. Like they use gold as means of exchange. We could and it's about objective values. Yes, something that is objective, something that is not subjective. This is interesting because in terms of reality, like there is this, and in the philosophy of objectivism, there is this axiom that reality is real, existence exists. An axiom is something that we hold to be true, that is commonly perceived as real. And the difference between an axiom and a dogma is you can question axioms, you can ask questions, you can doubt axioms, you can modify axioms in case if it's commonly perceived as true, but then you discover that there is something wrong about it. Axioms can be amended, they can be changed, updated. Hello, Adrian, nice to see you. So, whereas dogmas are not questionable, you do not ask questions about dogmas, you just blindly follow them, you blindly believe. If you ask questions about dogmas, then you're a bad believer. But if you ask questions about axioms, then you're a reasonable human being, and it's good that your mind works and you're questioning things and you want to understand more. That's a huge difference. Yes, I am alone right now, Mateus. Well, you are with me, so maybe I'm not alone. Right, hello animal protection, hello my student, and nice to see you on TikTok. Yeah, so currency, like when you use gold, it's objectively existing, yeah? Gold exists, like if I shut my eyes, or if I don't believe in gold, still gold exists objectively, yeah? It's not subjective. So this is why they use things like currency, which exists objectively, which can be seen, can be touched, can be experienced. Well, I do not know, to be honest, how modern objectivists view this question, because Ayn Rand has disciples, and the philosophy of objectivism is something that's living through her ancestry and through her followers. A lot of objectivists feel strong about this, but I don't know if there are other points of view in which people would agree that we could have digital digital currency, like digital money, or they would say no, it is not objective. Digital means that it does not exist in reality. So where is the boundary between what's real and what's made up, you know? And this is why some people feel strongly that digital money is something unreal, and they say that we need to follow real currency. Sebastian asks, can you talk about God? Sebastian, I am talking about a philosophy called objectivism. This lady here, Ayn Rand, is the founder of that philosophy. So we are like people who like her philosophy. We are rational human beings. We do not believe in believing. So God is something that is abstract. Where is God? How do you see it, it, her, him? How do you experience him? How can you prove that he, she, they, it is real and objective? You know, so in the philosophy of objectivism, that's questionable. And objectivism is atheistic in a way because you don't believe, you don't blindly follow things, you know? Yeah. So next quote is from page 730, and I suggest you guys on YouTube to give me thumbs up. TikTok, tap on the screen. Thank you, Animal Protection, for tapping on the screen. I appreciate that. Okay. Someone wrote some stupid comment, but it's a little funny also. Okay. So page 729. Nothing that he told me in words, everything that the tone of his voice told me whenever he spoke of you. She inclined her head. She had caught the sound of suffering in the faintest exaggeration of evenness in his voice. He pressed the starter, the motor's explosion blasted the story contained in the silence, and they drove on. I just wanted to quote this to show how subtle Ayn Rand can be in her writing style. She had caught the sound of suffering in the faintest exaggeration of evenness in his voice. That's very subtle, very interesting, you know? And you should be a very good psychologist in order to sense those things, and a very good writer in order to find the correct formulas and words to express all of this, you know. So I admire her as a good psychologist, as a good observer, and as a good writer who knows how to put how to observe all of this, how to understand it, and how to put it into words, you know, how to describe it. Beautiful. Page 731. But she knew that there was no meaning in motors or factories or trains, that their only meaning was in man's enjoyment of his life, which they served, and that her swelling admiration at the sight of an achievement was for the man from whom it came, for the power and the radiant vision within him, which had seen the earth as a place of enjoyment, and had known that the work of achieving one's happiness was the purpose, the sanction, and the meaning of life. It's so beautiful. This is objectivism. It's about life, joy, reason, productive work, and achievement through productive work. So beautiful. Just so beautiful. One of my favorite quotes of this book so far, you know. So all of these things, trains, smartphones, Wi-Fi, all these are tools, right? And the purpose of all of these tools is to make our lives more enjoyable, to make things more fun, yeah, so that we can connect more easily, so that we can have fun, so that life becomes more colorful, more enjoyable. So it's about joy. And here, you know, it's a huge difference. Some people will say, no, life is about suffering. If you look at many religions, philosophies, and political worldviews, it is about suffering. Yeah, they make it about suffering, like Christianity. Take Christianity, even the symbol cross. What is a cross? It is a tool that was used by ancient Romans, Ancient Romans used that tool to crucify people. Thousands of people, thousands of criminals from the perspective of the Roman Empire, thieves, cheaters, robbers, murderers, etc., were crucified throughout the existence of the Roman Empire. And when you take the tool of death and you proclaim it as your religious symbol, that cannot be life affirming. Even if you say, well, Jesus was resurrected and he went into heaven, still that symbol symbolizes death because it was used by ancient Romans to kill people, yeah, to crucify. So a lot of philosophies on our planet say that life is either about suffering or illusion. So life is suffering or life is illusion. In this context, philosophies that say that life is about creating joy, even if some suffering is inevitable, such philosophies are very rare. And objectivism is one of those rare philosophies that says that life is about joy and happiness. You should strive to enjoy life. You should strive to create conditions for yourself and for people whom you care about, uh, conditions that will lead to more joy, more comfort, more well-being. Unfortunately, there's a lot of masochism and sadism on the planet. Dictators and collectivists are promoting that idea. Yeah, you should suffer, you should sacrifice, yeah, you should be an altruist, you should live bad and give more to your community, to your church, to your country, etc. So there's a lot of propaganda of suffering on this planet. And the philosophy of objectivism is quite rare in this context. Okay? All right. Yeah, it's beautiful. I think I'll leave it and fold it, this page, and I'll make a separate video on it. Okay, next quote will come from page 737. No, I haven't given up. I merely got fed up with the job of running a slaughterhouse where one drains blood out of healthy living beings and pumps it into godless half corpses. So this is how Midas Mulligan, a former banker, described his decision to leave the world of the collectivists. In the book, it's about left-wing collectivism, left-leaning, but the philosophy of objectivism condemns any collectivism, including right-wing collectivism. It can be fascism, Christian, or other religious nationalism. Both right-wing and left-wing collectivism are not okay from the perspective of an objectivist. Objectivism is about individualism, liberty, freedom, reason. Okay. Okay, some people are inviting me on TikTok. Hi guys. Do you guys... Are you interested in a conversation? Guys, no, you're not interested in a conversation. Okay, bye. No. All right, no. So yes, he was living, Midas Mulligan was living as a sacrificial animal, as a cow who was milked. Yeah, they were taxing him heavily, they were taking away his property. A judge made a verdict against him, telling him that the fact that he didn't give a loan to someone who needed that loan was discrimination. So Midas Mulligan is one of those guys. The book is called Atlas Shrugged, right? So who are the Atlases? Who is the Atlas, or in plural, Atlases, who hold the planet on their shoulders? So in ancient Greek mythology, Atlas is that giant that keeps the planet on his shoulders, right? So, in the philosophy of Ayn Rand, Atlas is the honest tradesman. And you can be a tradesperson regardless of your profession. You can be a commerçant, you can be a banker, you can be a teacher, you can be a butcher, you can be a professor, whatever, but you can't be an honest tradesperson. You can be about win-win. You can be honest with yourself and with others, and you can strive to exchange value for value. I give you my best knowledge as a tutor, and you give me your best value. It can be your money, for instance. Yeah, you choose to give me the amount I am asking for because you feel like my lessons are of good quality. That's also trading, and we both are traders, me as a tutor and you as a student. Okay, so Atlas is the honest tradesperson in the universe of objectivism. Yeah, and atlases slowly they leave the human civilization, and at this point in the book we are in a special valley. Well, spoilers, yeah, but hey. And in this valley we have a special community of atlases, of honest tradesperson people who create their own utopia, yeah, their own little community. And we are in that valley now. Next quote is from page 738. Through all the centuries of the worship of the mindless, whatever stagnation humanity chose to endure, whatever brutality to practice, it was only by the grace of the man who perceived that wheat must have water in order to grow, that stones laid in a curve will form an arch, that two and two make four, that love is not served by torture and life is not fed by destruction. Only by the grace of those men did the rest of them learn to experience moments when they caught the spark of being human, and only the sum of such moments permitted them to continue to exist. So beautiful. Even that ancestor of ours who invented the wheel, he had to go through some mental process, right? He had to see that, let's say, the square or some other form was not perfect for carriage, yeah, for carrying something. So he saw the reality and he imagined that if I change something about reality, then things would get better, right? So inventing a wheel or inventing something modern like a smartphone, an iPhone, whatever, all of that requires some mental processes, reason, yeah. Uh, or the idea that if I want to grow wheat, I need to water that wheat, yeah. Still, that requires mental processing, right? So reason is indispensable for a human being who wants to live as a human being, meaning not just to survive as a beast without knowing how things are done, but to create civilizations where he creates better conditions and more comfort for himself and for others. For that, you need reason. Blind faith doesn't work. Pray as much as you want. We still have hurricanes, we still have murderers, we still have tragedies. Prayers don't work, right? Even though some people may find this offensive, but objectively speaking, prayers do not work, right? They do not prevent the shootings in schools, they do not prevent diseases, tragedies, terror attacks, etc. The fact that so many Jews are praying in front of the wall did not prevent Hamas from committing those horrible atrocities on October 7, yeah, a couple of years ago. So reason is the best tool of any human being who wants to live as a human on this planet, not as an irrational beast who goes by instinct or by guess or by fear or by blind faith. And Israel is an excellent example. The modern state of Israel is super powerful because it was founded by rational European, educated European Jews. The first prime minister of Israel was an atheist, David Ben-Gurion. The fourth prime minister of Israel was a woman, Golda Meir. It's not even about her gender, but the fact that women were allowed into that system, yeah, because reason and freedom are, shall I call them collaterals, or they correlate. Like, if there is reason, there must be freedom, because when you think and when you analyze, you understand that you come to the conclusion that freedom is good, yeah, or freedom makes sense. Freedom gives you more competition, more opportunities, more growth, you know. So reason and freedom are interconnected, and through reason you can say, okay, if this person is going to be a good prime minister, what do I care if that person is a believer, a non-believer, a man, a woman, gay, straight, whatever, right? So that's reason. So reason and freedom support each other. They go hand in hand. And whenever freedom is attacked, it means reason is also being attacked. Be it right-wing collectivism, be it left-wing collectivism. All right. Now, let's continue on page 739. It was the man of the mind who taught them to bake their bread, to heal their wounds, to forge their weapons, and to build the jails into which they threw him. He was the man of extravagant energy and reckless generosity, who knew that stagnation is not man's fate, that impotence is not his nature, that the ingenuity of his mind is his noblest and most joyous power, and in service to that love of existence he was alone to feel. He went on working, working at any price, working for his despoilers, for his jailers, for his torturers, paying with his life for the privilege of saving theirs. This was his glory and his guilt, that he let them teach him to feel guilty of his glory, to accept the part of a sacrificial animal, and, in punishment for the sin of intelligence, to perish on the altars of the brutes. Beautiful. Like, this is so profound. This is so historically accurate. Right now, I'm thinking of one guy, the inventor of guillotine, this French tool that decapitated people. Yes, that blade went down and the person would be decapitated. Now, the inventor of this machine, they say, was among the first to be decapitated. Some say he was third or maybe fourth or fifth, according to one story. They first were like, oh wow, bravo, what an invention. This is so humanist, because prior to that, they would decapitate people using knives or axes, and it was very painful, very messy. Sometimes the knife or the axe was not sharp enough, and the victim, the condemned person, would suffer immensely. So guillotine was very fast, and the person did not suffer, yeah, they say. But then the crowd and people who were using guillotine, the French revolutionaries who started a campaign of terror, they also made this man perish. So even if you're rational, even if you contribute to your society greatly, if you live among brutes, among parasites, they will destroy you, no matter what you give them. So this is the sad part. And in the book, this is why the creators created their own utopia. In real life, well, still, I think rational human beings need to be together, they need to work together and enjoy the company of each other, even digitally. And me making these lives, creating new intellectuals community, I'm trying to do exactly the same thing. I want to create a community of thinkers, of people for whom reason, freedom, joy, productive work, achievement through smart and productive work are values, right? Because there is a lot of collectivism, there is a lot of insanity, Marxist or conservative, makes no difference. Like collectivist insanity, yeah, where individuals and freedom is they try to bend, freedom and individuals. They try to distort reality, and they try to spread their collectivist agendas and enslave the human person, the human being, the individual, and make individuals milking cows. Okay. Hello, Reming. So, Wisdom in Drag is the name of my channel. I made some videos, some lives in drag. So, back then I named the channel Wisdom in Drag because I was a drag queen. But now I changed the name of the channel. It's New Intellectuals Community. So it's about people who value reason, intellect, freedom, joy. Okay, if you're one of those people, welcome, subscribe, and let's enjoy this online experience. Like I'm reading quotes from Atlas Shrugged, and I'm talking to people on TikTok. So this is edutainment, education plus entertainment, you know? Okay. Well, a drag queen, it's just a way of expressing myself, you know? Identity, well, it could be part of my identity, but for me it's like more artistic, you know? Yeah. All right, now let's take another quote, or shall I try and talk to someone on TikTok? Well, these passages are very interesting. Let's just go through these and then I'll try to speak to someone. Page 740. Mm-hmm. This is the age of the common man, they tell us, a title which any man may claim to the extent of such distinction as he has managed not to achieve. He will rise to a rank of nobility by means of the effort he has failed to make. He will be honored for such virtue as he has not displayed, and he will be paid for the goods which he did not produce. But we who must atone for the guilt of ability, we will work to support him as he orders, with his pleasure as our only reward. Since we have the most to contribute, we will have the least to say. This is the twisted philosophy of altruism and any collectivism. They think that talented people owe them. Yes, if you're talented, then you need to pay higher taxes. If you're smart or able, then you need to work extra hours. You need to volunteer. You need to give more. You need to feel guilty. You need to feel guilty about those privileges that you have, your talent, your ability, and so on. This is, of course, very twisted, and that guilt, of course, it is prevalent in Christianity, like hating yourself, and this twisted idea of the original sin. It's so crazy. You're born human, then you're bad because of someone else's action that you had no say in, right? But from Christianity through Marx and Marxism, these ideas were also introduced in the political left, and the sense of guilt is harnessed and used against individuals and against talented people in the political left too. And that is twisted. It is different than transgender. Yeah, transgender and drag queen are two different things. Transgender is an umbrella term, it's much bigger. You can be a straight man and you can be a drag queen. Okay? You can be a transgender person and you can be a drag queen. Those are two separate things. Okay? Ah, beautiful. I love this book. I love talking about these ideas. You know, it's so fulfilling, so enriching. Thank you, YouTube, for that one thumbs up. I encourage others to do the same. Give me thumbs up and leave some comments. Okay, TikTok, the same. You can tap on the screen. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Witching Well. Thank you so much for the taps. Again, if you're just joining, I'm reading Atlas Shrugged by Ayn Rand, okay? Now, I want to talk to someone on TikTok. So let's see if we have some interesting people. Witching Well, if you'd like to, you are welcome to join me too, okay? Now I'll try a few individuals whom I don't know. Okay, let's try this other person. No, I think if they don't connect within like 5 to 10 seconds, then it's a no. Hi guys. Are you guys interested in a conversation? Philosophy. Philosophy, literature. Would you be interested in talking about philosophy? Okay, the person says no. And how about Jalene? Are you interested in a conversation? No, she's not even looking at the camera, so goodbye. All right. Okay, I'm on my last two brain cells, my dear. They're on their last two brain cells too. Okay, okay. Yeah, I'll try to find some interesting interlocutors, some people with whom we could talk about something. Hello. Um, Hi there, Wilson, right? Your name is Wilson? All right. My life is about literature and philosophy. Would you be interested in talking about philosophy? Oh, that's what you do in your life? Yeah, I'm reading quotes from this book. Have you heard of Atlas Shrugged? All right. And then we just this. Let me say again. I want to read like Atlas Shrugged. That's the name of the novel. Okay. So if you're interested, I could read a quote and then we could talk about it. Yeah? Okay, so let's take page 700. Oh, yes, 740. Here we have another quote. It is a code that thrives not on those who observe it, but on those who don't. A morality kept in existence not by virtue of its saints, but by the grace of its sinners. We have decided not to be sinners any longer. We have ceased breaking that moral code. We shall blast it out of existence forever by the one method that it can't withstand, by obeying it. We are obeying it. We are complying. In dealing with our fellow men, we are observing their code of values to the letter and sparing them all the evils they denounce. The mind is evil. We have withdrawn the works of our minds from society, and not a single idea of ours is to be known or used by men. Ability is a selfish evil that leaves no chance to those who are less able. We have withdrawn from the competition and left all chances open to incompetence. The pursuit of wealth is greed, the root of all evil. We do not seek to make fortunes any longer. It is evil to earn more than one's bare sustenance. We take nothing but the lowliest jobs, and we produce, by the effort of our muscles, no more than we consume for our immediate needs. So, this passage is about altruism, the idea that others are more important than yourself. Altruism and collectivism. Yeah?
Hold on, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second.
Sure. Yeah, what do you guys think? You can also leave your comments. Okay, tell me what you think of altruism and collectivism. And the passage, what do you think of the passage? Do you agree with it? Do you like it? Do you think that reason
I'm
is
sorry, I'll be
evil?
back, bro.
Yeah. So yeah, we could take some of the ideas. So it's about collectivism, like the idea that the group or any type of group is more important than the individual. It can be a religious group, an ethnic group, a professional group. Yeah. So what do you think? Is your freedom important to you, or are you ready to sacrifice your freedom or parts of it for the sake of the group, the collective?
We talk about freedom, but I think anyone go for freedom, because when you feel
Oh, I can't hear your sound well. Could you please speak closer to the mic? Or a bit
okay,
louder, maybe?
I ain't got a mic for years.
Yeah, louder.
It's
Louder is good. Okay.
my phone is not for me, you feel me? So you hear me right now?
Yeah, like, yes, direct your speech at the phone and.
Yeah, that's okay. Let me try to talk to you I got to tell you, speak with my voice. Yeah, but I told you some anyone with freedom, because when you're free, how can I say but I ain't got more explication, but I think I prefer just freedom.
So freedom is more important to you, you're saying? Yeah, yeah, well, I'll agree on that. And how about reason and faith? What is more important to you? Like thinking, analyzing, coming to conclusions, or following your heart, following some scripture, and believing?
Hello,
Mm-hmm.
hello, give me 1 second, bro.
Yeah.
I'm figuring my life, so my life is okay. Yeah. So you told me the reason follow my heart. Say again, can you
Yeah,
say
like
what style was?
reason versus belief. What's more important?
Yeah.
Thinking, analyzing, coming to conclusions on your own, or believing, following some scripture, some prophet, religious or political?
But I can't tell. But my word, just I can see I can see me again, because I prefer follow myself. So I can see some reason for me again, right? Like that I'm living. So I'm not just religion or some stuff like that for
Mm-hmm.
me.
So you're saying that your reason is more important for
Thank
you,
you.
yeah?
You understand what I'm saying?
Are you saying that your freedom, your own thinking is more important than following a religion?
Yeah.
Okay, cool, cool. Yeah, yeah. So, shall we take another passage? Are you interested?
Say again?
Shall we take another passage?
Yeah, you can do it.
Okay, let's try one more with you. Okay, page 741. Oh, yes, it's still, we continue the same idea. It is evil to succeed, since success is made by the strong at the expense of the weak. We have ceased burdening the weak with our ambition and have left them free to prosper without us. It is evil to be an employer. We have no employment to offer. It is evil to own property. We own nothing. It is evil to enjoy one's existence in this world. There is no form of enjoyment that we seek from their world, and this was hardest for us to attain. What we now feel for their world is that emotion which they preach as an ideal: indifference, the blank, the zero, the mark of death. Oof, this gives me goosebumps, to be honest, because it's like very powerful and it's so true. Like indifference is taught, detachment, yeah, is taught in many philosophies, like in Eastern religions and philosophies, Hinduism, Buddhism. In Christianity, like you should be indifferent and you should belittle yourself, yeah, you should be sort of masochistic, like I'm bad, I'm a sinner, I owe the world stuff, I need to work harder, I need to share more. So there's a lot of guilt, a lot of hatred of the individual, hatred of the ability, especially if you're smart, if you're able, if you build stuff. So what are your thoughts on this?
So, so I think like I believe like depend like you like your thinking like you thinking in your life like you okay I said like you guide your life so you choose you can and then like you trust like I think like you trust like something you have with like you know what I'm talking about you hear me?
I kind of hear you. It's hard to follow all of what you're saying, but try to give me your
Yeah,
opinion.
I ain't got mic like you.
Yeah.
Your mic is accessible than mine.
Yeah,
And that's why I mean you hear my voice like that.
actually, I don't have a mic, but probably my smartphone is better. But yeah, well, we can't do anything about it. Yeah. Would you like to tell me in one or two sentences, like, what do you think? Um, is Do you agree with this trend that individuals owe groups and the society? Should they be taxed more? Should they able individuals work harder? Or it's about you and your choice and your life. It's up to you to decide what to do, and you don't want to be viewed as a sacrificial animal, as a milking, cow.
It's like hold on, hold on, hold on.
Okay. Well, maybe next time if you have a camera, a mic, we
If
could.
it's like we follow, I'm about to follow you, and then you know
Yeah,
we about to follow me back next time.
yeah,
I'm just like
I did. I
just like
followed you.
live again. So we just like got a concept to talking. So you
Okay.
know.
Next
Cause you
time.
know, like I ain't think, you know what? I ain't think like today I'm about to talk like you, man, about like believe in something, religion, and some stuff like that. So you know, yeah, but I'm just not prepared for that. I'm not prepared for that because I'm not thinking if you tell me something, but I can give you some explication, something like that. But I got my boots on. I didn't know
Okay.
if you. I didn't know if you. Okay, let me try it.
What's that?
I'm about to show you my book. Like,
All right.
maybe
Yes.
you got, maybe you got, or maybe you got.
Let's see. What's that book? Heaven to Hell. Hazel Harst. No, I don't know about it. Is it a novel?
That's why I'm stop. That's why I'm waiting.
Or is it
It's
a
what I'm waiting.
novel?
Like,
Is it fiction?
yeah, you talk about like what you talking, and then you talk about yourself. You introduce yourself, and then you talk about the religion, and then some like devil or like you know some stuff like that. Some
Okay.
things or
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for your time. And
so you see this game, you can check it out on internet.
yeah.
You see this game, you can check
Okay.
it out and then you can know something on my book.
All right. Okay. So thank you, and
Wow.
maybe see you around. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Have a good day.
I appreciate it. I
Bye.
appreciate it. Like we talk about I appreciate it.
Okay. See you.
Um, alright, like
Okay. No, it was very hard without a proper mic. Yeah, it was very hard to understand what he was saying. Okay, I love these passages, like these ideas. They are so valuable. They are so there is so much freedom and reason in this book and in these lines. It's just so fulfilling. Like it gives me life. You know, it's like I'm reading. I'm like, yes, precisely, and how she materialized all these behaviors and these mindsets, you know, how she gave them forms in very interesting ways. I admire that. So thank you, Ayn Rand. Thank you for this colossal work, you know. On page 741, again, the same page, I learned from my own pupil, however, that it was I who made this possible. When thinkers accept those who deny the existence of thinking as fellow thinkers of a different school of thought, it is they who achieve the destruction of the mind. They grant the enemy's basic premise, thus granting the sanction of reason to formal dementia. Ha ha! A basic premise is an absolute that permits no cooperation with its antithesis and tolerates no tolerance. In the same manner and for the same reason as a banker may not accept and pass counterfeit money, granting it the sanction, honor, and prestige of his bank, just as he may not grant the counterfeiter's demand for tolerance of a mere difference of opinion, so I may not grant the title of philosopher to Dr. Simon Pritchett or compete with him for the minds of men. This is so profound. This is so profound. And even democracies are destroyed through this same process when they speak of, well, I don't mind the word multiculturalism. I like, you know, living in LA, for instance. I like to see different cultures, different people. So it's not really even about multiculturalism. But when democracies say, well, okay, we allow people who hate democracy to become part of the government, this is how democracies are destroyed from within. People like Putin in Russia, Lukashenko in Belarus, or all sorts of dictators and criminals, they enter the system legally, and the democracies are like, okay, even if you dislike democracy, it's the majority who voted for you, then yeah, go ahead and do whatever you are planning to do, even if that plan is to destroy that democracy, is to destroy that voting process, etc. And we see how more dictatorships arise across the planet because, shall I call them psychopaths, sociopaths, you know, individuals who are narcissists, yeah, they enter those systems which validate them, and they start destroying those systems, you know. So it's a pity, but it all comes from this root, you know. When you do that philosophically through reason, then you start doing that politically, in the context of governance, in the context of policy making and elections, and you destroy your own society, you destroy your own political system. And Socrates was elected to be executed by the majority, you know. The majority may say that we want to, let's say, chase away this particular ethnic minority. It's not always the majority that should have the last say, especially if we are dealing with a lot of ignorant and hateful and fanatic individuals, you know. So, and this makes me remember an idea attributed to Winston Churchill. That he said that democracy is the worst form of governance, but it is by far the best thing the mankind has come up with. Kind of um, contradictory. So, and because of that contradiction, it means we need to look around and try to come up with something better. And by the way, this it's important to distinguish between political democracy in the context of voting and election and constitutional republic, when you have a constitution which restrains even that majority from doing whatever they want, because sometimes you can have mass psychosis, you can have religious individuals or ultra left irreligious individuals who may want to, you know, destroy a lot of things. And when you validate the irrational, when you say, okay, we are on the same level, reason and the irrational are on the same level, it's like driving a car and pushing on both the pedals at the same time. You try to add the speed and then you push on that stop pedal. That way you will destroy your car, right? So when reasonable beings say, okay, let's give space to irrational narratives, let's hear those who are anti-reason, um, then they seed the seeds of the destruction of that mindset, of that civilization through those actions. Okay, these are super interesting ideas. I'll stop here today and we'll continue next time from page 741. Very interesting, very enriching. If you understand the profoundness of this book, of these ideas that she discusses in the books, you will gain a lot from the philosophy of objectivism. Thank you for having been with me, and I'll see you guys